are considering some things. But Brian, go ahead and talk about your side of the auction a little bit.
Sure. I have not really come up with the idea. I mean, I've done these before. I have done a few of them for different things like cancer and stuff like that, and it works really well. It's just like I said, it's an online silent auction. We are still currently looking for people that would like to donate some things. We do have, probably I think we're up to about 5 or 6 people now that are donating things. Things that we are looking for would be like gift certificates, any type of awareness items, whether it's a shirt or pens or, anything in that area. Trying to think off the top of my head here, some other things that work real good. But we'll come back to that here in a section. But anyways, what it will happen is putting the fire out, Chronic Pain Warriors and CRPS RSD Warriors, we have grouped together on this. I am working with Dan and Wendy Hunter on this. Anyways, people will actually bid silently by sending their bids in to either me, Dan, or Wendy. I haven't really talked to you guys much about that. Yeah. If you don't want the bids coming to you, that's fine. I can take care of handling all of those. But anytime a bid comes in, I will keep the bids updated to everybody on those 3 groups. Now, if you have a group that you would like this to take place in as well, I'm fine with that, but you need to get permission from the main administrator and then let me know so I know where it's going to be at. All the proceeds are going to be donated. Like Dan was talking about, it's either going to go to a CRPS research facility, or I am also thinking maybe a CRPS nonprofit. What's that, Dan?
Does it have to be CRPS, or have we made a choice?
Well, I'm actually thinking that maybe if we get some, coming in, we get a pretty decent. I thought about maybe actually just splitting it up, you know, and letting it go to, obviously we need, some for Lyme. I mean, that's just
right. Well, that's
obviously what's going on.
That's why I was asking, because I know some communities, some disorders, some disorders, whatever you call it, are going to feel left out. But people need to understand that we're trying to go to one. We both have CRPS. Lyme disease is in desperate need, and there's people like Laura and other people that are trying to help do things themselves. So, I want to try to be as fair as possible.
Dan, I think that.
If we want to split this up and go however many ways, I am totally fine with that. Anything I can do to help anybody, I am totally fine.
No, that's why I am. That's why I am. So
great.
Well, I wanted to, because CRPS is not the only one out there, and I don't want.
Right.
I want people that are in desperate need of help to be able to get to help. CRPS, and I'm going to have a lot of people with CRPS get mad at me, but that's okay. CRPS is very, very painful, okay? It is. It's very painful. I've had a lot of pain in my life, and CRPS takes the cake. But, on the other hand, what is more important? People dying from Lyme disease because of the way it treats the organs in the body, or is the pain of CRPS the worst? You see what I'm saying? I mean, yes, we all need help. All disorders, cancer, you name it, every one of them, all 150 of them need a cure. Okay?
Yes.
I don't go ahead.
I think you have helped the Lyme community, and I know I see you sharing Brenda Mole's GoFundMe, and I am so grateful. And Brenda has asked me to thank you as well. And we are so appreciative of your help. And I want to speak on behalf of the Lyme community that I see you reaching out and trying to help the Lyme community. So I appreciate that. I mean, I have some events coming up that I'm going to be doing to try to raise some money on November 10th at Uno's. It's a restaurant here. I don't know if you're familiar because you're in Florida, but it's a family style restaurant, and it's like a bar and grill. And they're going to be donating 15 to 20% depending on how many people show up and what the bill is. The total bill for the entire evening is to Hand in Hand for Lyme Disease, which is the nonprofit that I'm the vice president of. And then we have Painting with a Twist, which is a lot of fun. We're going to pick a painting, and then you bring your dinner, you bring your own drinks. People with Lyme cannot usually drink alcohol because it will cause a major Herx reaction, but other people that decide to come to that event can bring wine or beer or whatever, and hopefully not get too because they have to drive.
Right.
But they can paint, and I think it's funny it's with a twist because it is probably going to be with a twist if they're drinking and painting. So that's on December 4th. And then I'm really super excited about the 3rd annual Christmas sweater party. It's the ugly, cutest, and most original Christmas sweater fundraiser on December 2nd. And we have Bax from Bax and O'Brien from Rock 102, which is a big radio station here. He's going to be a guest. And we also have Katina Macris, who is the author of Out of the Woods. And she is also author of many other books on Lyme, and she is a chronic Lyme survivor, and she beat chronic Lyme, and she's going to be signing books, selling her books, and she's also going to be speaking at our event on that night. So this event includes like a buffet dinner. We have a DJ who is referred by Steve Nagel, who is the producer of Rock 102. We have a cash bar. So we have some events coming up to try to raise money. The challenge that I have in dealing, being the vice president of a 501c3 nonprofit is we have so many applicants. We have such a huge need in the chronic Lyme community because the treatment is not covered by insurance.
Sure.
And then I'm sick, so I'm doing a lot of this work myself. I plan the events. I coordinate all of the raffles. I do pretty much everything that has to do with the nonprofit. I do have a board, but the majority of the people on my board work, so I do pretty much everything. So if I would love to have help, if there's anyone out there listening that would like to help, I'd really appreciate it.
Sure. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, people need to come out to this and help. I mean,
I love it.
There's no doubt that they need to come out and help.
We give the proceeds. We were giving 100% of the proceeds to, an applicant. So we do need to try to keep, a little bit, maybe if it's 80-20 or whatever, because we do have overhead that we've been, that we've been using our own money for, flyers and ink, and there's, mailings and things like that. And we really need to stop doing that because I have to pay for my own treatment. And, it's expensive. It's, anyone out there that has chronic Lyme knows it's extremely expensive. There's something I wanted to say that you touched upon, which is that the pain of, CRPS and RSD and chronic Lyme disease is extremely painful. It's, I know for myself, there's days I cannot move. The pain is so excruciating, and I'm tough.
Right.
And I'm stubborn. But we get the symptoms that are typical for someone with chronic Lyme are muscle spasms, muscle cramping, inflammation, numbing, tingling, burning, joint pain, muscle pain, like feeling like weighted down, vertigo, dizziness, changes in your vision, hearing, smell.
See, it's the same. A lot of the same effects that CRPS has. And we've talked about this before.
Yes, exactly. Almost exactly the same. Because when I look at the symptoms for fibromyalgia and CRPS and RSD, so many are overlapping. We get sensations of like something crawling under our skin sometimes, twitches, like electrical shock feelings. There's a lot of things that happen, and you're like, sometimes they kind of freak you out. You're like, what is happening? Seizures are very typical. Problems, many people with chronic Lyme get problems with their thyroid. I do. Celiac disease, food allergies, asthma, problems with their sinuses, problems with the lymph nodes not draining, changes with the way that you see lighting, and a lot of problems with fluorescent lighting for some reason. It's like the flickering that you can't, to the naked eye, you don't see, but for some reason there's like a neurological thing going on.
Sure,
So neurological migraines. There's so many, like, your bones, like, it's like there's pain all the way down into your bones.
Sure.
It's like, I don't know. I don't know if it's almost like a vice grip. It's like squeezing it. I don't know if that explains it well, but there's a lot. It's like your hands are falling asleep all the time too. Your feet. And,
we get the same thing.
Yeah,
we get the same thing, and so does fibromyalgia for the most part.
Right.
So
Yes,
we talked about this one time before. It's so scary how some of these disorders are, because I said this, me and Wayne, I think Brian was with us that night, but we talked about if they could find a cure for one of these, they'd find a cure for a bunch of them. Just because just because there's so much alike, and
overlap.
and I don't sit here and say one's worse than the other. I just know how CRPS is, and it's very, very painful. And people tell me that Lyme's very painful, fibro is very painful, lupus. I mean, they all, So it's not that one's worse than the other. Well, I mean, it is in a way, because Lyme and lupus can really take a toll on your organs more than what CRPS and fibro do that I'm aware of. Yes, fibro and CRPS does affect the organs, but I don't think it's as rough on them as Lyme and lupus is. I do know those two are very, very bad on organs, making people sick.
Yeah, it's attacked my nerves. Like, I have permanent nerve damage now, and I don't know if you saw that on Facebook, but what's happening is, as a direct result of the nerve damage, my blood pressure and body temperature drop. So I had to go on a medication to try to help the nerve damage in order for my blood pressure and my body temperature to remain regulated. So I don't seize.
Briefly talk about the treatment that you just received the other day. I forget what it is. I do apologize.
Oh, yeah. And I do want to touch base on something we talked about the time before. And I'm sorry I couldn't go on. Part of Lyme, and I don't know if this is something that's common with RSD or CRPS, so you can educate me on this. Is our immunity is compromised. We get sick. Many of us get sick a lot. We have something called Epstein-Barr. Most of us, I believe, everybody that I know that has chronic Lyme has had mono. And we have Epstein-Barr virus, and sometimes that gets reactivated. So that's difficult. So you may get reactivated Epstein-Barr virus, and you get very fatigued. The fatigue is horrific. And our immune system is shot, so if we're ever around anyone that's sick, we get sick very easily, and most of us have low body temperatures anyways. So, and we don't usually get fevers to fight off infection. We just don't have the capacity to fight infection. But you had talked about the saunas and had asked me to check on that, and it's basically what you had said is I think you said something about a red sauna, and basically that's well, from what I read, it's just basically the infrared sauna, and